can that young fellow have got to? Come along, come along! Hello, Dominic.
Hello, Dad. How are you? Yes, I'm awfully sorry I'm late. I'm afraid I was up half the night with Lady Penelope.
Oh, darling.
No, just a touch of swine fever.
Isn't she a sweetheart?
Isn't she a sweetheart?
Isn't she a
Isn't she
sweetheart?
an absolute sweetheart?
Absolute sweetheart.
I'm terribly excited at the prospect of my first hunt, you know.
It's the first time you've been out with the Berkeley, is it?
Oh, yes, it is.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's great fun.
Sure I will. I didn't know what to wear, so I wore my ordinary sports.
We'll just add a few sort of ceremonial things to satisfy everybody on the hunt, you know.
Super.
Few ceremonial. Osler!
Osler?
Osler! Osler! Osler!
I saw that film, The Osler.
Oh, yes.
Paul Newman.
Well, take the sight away. Thank you very much.
Doesn't look very much like Paul Newman.
No, I think just slip into these togs here, you see, the normal hunting togs, as they're called. It's rather attractive, isn't it? Dates back to very ancient times,
Does it
you know.
really, eh?
And isn't just like to get this hat on, rather nice, I think.
Very
You'll
nice,
agree.
yes.
Who like the colour of it? Just a few additional decorations. Now, you're wearing tails under your coat, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yes.
Well, I think you ought to have a tail on it as well, just for tradition's sake. There we are, that's attractive.
Good. Where's the horse?
You don't actually get a horse, because this is your first hunt and you go on foot, you see. But what we do is we give you a sort of start. About 100 yards ahead, you go on ahead of us.
I tear off ahead,
That's right, yes, it's wonderful fun.
And what do these things?
Well, this is what is known as the ceremonial hunting pink. It's an old ceremony that dates back to Druid times. It's an attractive old relic of the past, I think. Wouldn't you agree?
They look like rather recent lamb cutlets.
It does look like them, doesn't it? Well done.
And, well, I suppose I better be off then.
You certainly have.
What do I shout? Like a tentative there, tally ho?
No, just don't go tempted. They say, here I am, here I am.
I'll try to remember that. Here I am!
Right, here. Just the finishing touch.
What's that?
Ceremonial hunting powder. Off you go there.
Not off it.
It smells rather like Amazon powder to me.
I'm over here!
How do you enjoy yourself? How do you enjoy your first hunt?
I had a marvelous time. I didn't catch anything.
Oh, never mind. I think you're probably going a bit too fast, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you catch anything?
No, I think you were going just a bit too fast. If you'd been going a bit slow, you might have got something. This is all we managed to land. But never mind. It's your first hunt. I think you did terribly, terribly well.
Thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce our first guest, the lovely Field Marshal Marion Montgomery.
Well,
of you. When stars are tired of gleaming, when I am tired of dreaming, then I'll be tired of you. This I know is true. When the wind gets tired of blowing, grass is tired of growing, then I'll be tired of you. Beyond the years, from day to night, till wrong is right and birds refuse to sing. Beyond the years, the echo of my only love will still be whispering, if my throbbing heart should ever start repeating that it is tired of beating, that's when I'll be tired of you.
I cobble and I cobble, I am the fairy cobbler. I cobble, I cobble. And I cobble away. They call me the cobble goblin. I cobble and I cobble, I cobble and I cobble. Oh, hello, Melanie. I didn't hear you come in.
No, I don't suppose you did you?
Did you have a good afternoon, dear heart?
I think some of us had a rather better afternoon than some of us not a million miles away from here.
I hope you had a good afternoon, Melanie. I've been very busy, as you can see, with these boots. There's been a lot of orders for fairy boots. Oh, dear.
Yes, those stupid little shoes of yours.
They're not stupid little shoes, Melanie. They're fairy boots. And what's more, they're our bread and butter. You may laugh, Melanie. You may laugh.
I don't need your permission to laugh,
I'm not
myself.
suggesting you need my permission to laugh, Melanie. I'm merely pointing out that were it not for these stupid little shoes, as you see fit to call them, were it not for these stupid little shoes, we wouldn't be able to live in this lovely little toadstool and have all the things which make life so comfortable for both of us, my dear.
That make life all the more damp and pokey for both of us, you mean? Why can't we live in a wonderful gingerbread house like Goldilocks does?
Perfectly well, I can't afford it on a cobbler's humble wage, let alone a cobbler's humble wage. No, you may laugh, a cobbler also has a humble wage as well. He has a humbler wage than anybody else. I've never seen a humbler wage than a cobbler's. How do you expect me to move into a gingerbread house on my income? And if you don't like shoes, Melanie, precious heart, then you should have pointed out that when you married me. I've always been a cobbler. I've always wanted to be a cobbler. I always will be a cobbler. I hope my children are cobblers too. Cobblers all through.
Wonderful. What a prospect, spending the rest of my life with a load of cobblers. Don't you realise, Marcel?
you're overwrought.
Overwrought? I'm underwrought, if anything. When was the last time you wrought me? When you got drunk on cuckoo spit and dressed yourself up like a centipede.
You're completely... Where have you been? Your gossamers, your lovely gossamer threads and wings. They're tattered and torn. Where have you been?
Perhaps somebody's been a little rough with me this afternoon.
What do you mean, Melanie?
Well, perhaps something not dissimilar to a rude, naughty, eager water boatman has been scrabbling at my gossamers, has been showing me a thing or two, has been showing me what a husband should be like.
Have you been out with a water boatman?
Yes, I have.
And was he romantic?
As a matter of fact, he was.
Oh, well, it's all very easy, isn't it, for a water boatman? All he has to do is scud over the water all day and sing Italian songs while I have to do a job of work back at home cobbling. It's all very well for the water boatman.
So if you think that's all a water boatman does, scud over the water, you should have seen him scud over me this afternoon.
If that's how you want to spend your afternoons, Melanie, move over, please.
Oh, excuse me.
If that's how you want to spend your afternoon, there's nothing I can do about it, is there?
No, of course, there's nothing you can do. You can't stop me, can you? You can't stop me. Oh, Marcel, you're so pathetic. Don't you realise, Marcel? I've been unfaithful to you. Aren't you going to discipline me? Aren't you going to punish me? Aren't you going to be masterful with
You want me to be masterful?
Yes, I do.
You think I can't be masterful, I suppose?
Yes.
Well, I'll discipline you, all right.
For once in your life,
Do you
Marcel.
want me to dominate you?
For once.
I'll be tough and firm with you. Don't you worry yourself. Listen to this now. Sit down, Melanie. Shut up. And let me get on with my cobbling. How's that?
Pathetic.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
You're sorry I feel that way. How do you know I feel? You haven't felt me for years. Pathetic. I've never heard anything of the sort in my life. My goodness, Marcel, why can't you rave a bit?
Why can't I rave a bit? I'm glad you asked me that. Has it ever occurred to you that perhaps I can rave a bit? But has it occurred to you that perhaps you don't bring out the raver in me? Perhaps you're so fat and sluggish and smelly and ghastly, you don't bring out the raver in me with your tatty clothes. Perhaps some other fairy, such as Tinkerbell, make me rave like anything. You ask Tinkerbell whether I rave or not. You ask Tinkerbell whether I rave.
Perhaps I've already asked her.
Oh. And what did she say?
Oh, who's your lady friend? I'll tell you what she said. She told me how pathetic you were. She told me you made a pass at her in the fairy ring on Midsummer's Night. And you asked her up here to have a look at your cobbler's last. First, if you ask me. Oh, God! She laughed so much till her gossamers drooped. Tinkerbell laughed so much that she cracked her bell and she couldn't tinkle for 6 months.
Tinkerbell told you?
Yes, that's what she told me.
That wasn't very kind, was it?
No, it wasn't very kind, but it's no more or less than you deserve, Marcel. No more or less, because you're such an ineffective, twitty, incompetent goblin. You're not a goblin, you're not a sprite. You don't deserve the name of a...
That does it, you stupid fat cow! How do you think I like living with somebody as fat and ugly you and your filthy, hairy chest? I'm gonna take you! I can beat the living daylights out of you! I can't stand you! You filthy, dirty, ugly old fool! Get upstairs! Get upstairs! Get upstairs!
Oh, that's more like my man. I'm going to go upstairs and put some pull on behind my ears and some elderberry wine between my toes. I'll be waiting for you, my darling.
Well, that seemed to get her going a bit now. If I can just get these 12 boots done, I'll be up in a couple of hours. I cobble all night, I cobble all day,
Tea's up, Pete.
Nothing like a nice cup of tea.
Nothing like a nice cup of tea.
Nothing like a nice cup of tea. I see they caught that Surrey puma at last.
Really?
Surrey puma captured, it says here.
That ferocious mammal that has been terrorising the Surrey commuters with its unpredictable sallies.
Precisely. The third beast what has been terrorising that lovely part of the Surrey wolds.
Huh.
You know what it turned out to be?
What?
Sheep.
Sheep?
It was a sheep.
Really?
A sheep what had got hold of some drugs, become crazed, gone berserk and gone round biting people. It just shows you how incredibly gullible and naive people can be. They see something flitting through the laurels, they immediately assume it's a puma. Whereas in fact there's a perfectly rational, logical explanation, naming that a sheep was broken into a chemist, got hold of some Benzodiazepine, and is rushing round the countryside in a state of excitement.
There's always a logical explanation for everything.
There's always a logical explanation, Dad, for everything.
Take, for example, a not dissimilar case, the case of the Loch Ness Monster. Something that has mystified the bearded Celt for trillions of years, Pete. I mean, as far as I can see, there's a logical explanation. The Loch Ness Monster is none other than...
A sheep.
A sheep. No. It is obviously a Venusian submarine that has been lurking beneath the locky surfaces for quite a time.
You've been reading that Astral Digest again, haven't you?
Yeah. Professor Culper's interesting articles on space and its implications.
What a load of rubbish.
What do you mean?
It's a load of rubbish. There's no such thing as all these things he talks about.
Don't you believe in people on other planets?
Of course I don't. Let me phrase it this way. I have no reason to believe that life exists of any kind on any other planet because I have seen no scientific explanation for it. It's all a projection of people's own psyche. Their own sort of inner feelings and conflicts are made forward in a phantasmagoria in the mind which takes the shape of these extraterrestrial things what people claim to have sighted. For example, take the case of that woman in Arizona.
Mrs. Wainwright.
Mrs. Wainwright. She was in Arizona one day, in the kitchen, she heard a tapping at the door. She goes out to see what it is, opened the door, and there it is, a horrible green, long creature, covered in green scales from head to foot, with long green fingernails and bulging eyes.
A Venusian.
Far from it. Nothing more or less than the Arizonan frozen pea person. He is a gentleman who travels round Arizona knocking on doors, and if a housewife happened to have a couple of frozen peas in the house, he gives her a free packet and a night out with Dermot Scrigger.
Well, that is as may be, Pete. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that was a Venusian who come tapping at Mrs. Wainwright's door that Sunday afternoon. I mean, you've always been a sceptic, Pete. I mean, I had an experience last Tuesday.
You didn't tell me you'd had an experience.
No, well, I've been bottling it up.
Well, that's the worst thing you can do with an experience is bottle it up. You bottle it up at your own peril.
Well, I didn't want to tell you in case you laugh me to scorn.
Well, I probably will laugh you to scorn, but go ahead in any case.
I'll tell you anyway. I was cycling along last Tuesday night, about 10 o'clock at night, by the Willesden Common.
Of course you were, Dad.
Of course I was, Pete. I was going along, and it was a balmy night.
A balmy cyclist.
That's a good joke, I like that.
It's not a joke, it's the truth.
Oh, sorry, Pete. Anyway, I was going along, and the clouds were scudding across the moon, and I could hear a tiny owl hooting from a distant cathedral.
To-wit, to-woo.
A sound not dissimilar to the one that just emanated from your mouth, Pete. And I was going along whistling this tune, and Oh, for the Wings of a Dove.
A lovely tune. What an oldie but a biggie.
A biggie but a And suddenly, as I was going along, I saw this light flashing on in the middle of the common. So I thought to myself, who's flashing on the common this time of night? You know, I thought to myself, you know, I thought, Sunny, I thought...
Flashing on the common.
Flashing on the common.
That time of night.
That time of night.
Owl hooting in the cathedral.
Owl hooting in the cathedral.
Cloud scudding across the moon. You thought to yourself,
Funny.
funny.
what was going on, so I thought, well, I'll investigate. So I lent my bicycle on the country style.
In the country style.
A bit of both, Pete, in and out.
Make mine country style.
Shut up a minute. And I started to pick my way across the spongy surface of the Willesden bog. And as I was going towards this source...
Pray continue.
Sorry, I was having one of my goes, Pete. As I was...
Continue, or shall I go on reading?
I shall continue. As I was approaching this light, I heard a strange...
That was the air coming out of your tyre, wasn't it?
Would that it had a been, Pete, but no. I approached the light, and I parted the fronds, and horror of horrors...
Oh, Dolly.
I saw this saucer-like object, and I heard this strange hypnotic voice coming from within. Dad, climb upon this saucer and fly away with me. Oh, please come on to Venus and have a cup of tea.
A Wordsworthian outburst.
A Shakespearean strain, Pete. So, I delved my way into the aluminum Venusian depths of the saucer, and suddenly I blacked out, just like that. And then the next thing I knew, I was waking up, and I could hear the sound of rockets, and I was descending onto this strange, illuminated surface, a planet I'd never seen before in my life, Pete, and people I'd never seen before.
Earthling.
Where am I? And who are you?
This is the planet of Dad Peter. And I am a superior being. So watch it.
For what scientific purpose am I here?
We brought you here for one reason. Superior beings so we be, we are a dying race. We are becoming extinct. Because, you see, the larger our brains have got, so have our other powers diminished. And this is why we've brought you up here, for reproductive purposes. You are to be a stud, Dad.
My talents are at your disposal. Convey me almost immediately to those fabulous females who lie trembling for my terrestrial touch. Allow me to tamper tenderly with their outer spaces.
You're out of luck, mate, completely. We only have two forms of life up here. There are Dads and there are Petes. Lo, the survivors of our race.
Oh, blimey.
Right, are you ready to breed?
Yes, let reproduction commence.
Right.
England. How does it float like that?
Well, we've got two little bits of wire there, you see. There's a bloke up there with a fishing rod. That's what makes it possible.
Oh, I see. Hello.
Right, now, for breeding purposes, place the nose against the bowl and concentrate on a little Pete, right?
Right.
Go. Concentrate.
Concentrate.
Do you feel everything coming yet?
My nose is starting to twitch.
Contractions are beginning.
Oh. Oh, dear. But... Oh, look at that.
You bloody idiot, that's another Dad. That's not a Pete. Ask a Pete. I'll get a Dad. A fat lot of bloody use you are. Destroy it.
What you talking about?
Get back to the planet where you belong, Earthling. We've no room for tricks like you up here. Get back to Willesden. Get off into your saucer. Take you away from here. Go on then.
I should cocoa, you inhuman monster.
How dare you say that to a superior being? Well, I never. Ready for takeoff? What a load of unmitigated cod's udders.
Oh, what do you mean? You didn't believe me?
Of course not. The only thing that rang true was that I was a superior being. The rest of it is obviously a projection of your disturbed psyche.
Well, I have proof.
Proof? Let's see it then.
Exhibit 1, the original Venusian breeding bath.
That's a goldfish bowl you bought last Tuesday. It's still got the 1 and 6 on it. You got it down the market.
I didn't.
Where's the dud then? Show me the dud.
Well, the dad had to go invisible, otherwise he would have perished with the noxious gases on the Earth's atmosphere.
What a ludicrous explanation. There's nothing in there.
Oh,
Look,
yes,
I'll
sir.
pour the tea in on it, see what happens then.
No, don't. Sorry about that, Dad. He's feeling a bit peckish now. Give him a bit of tapioca pudding or something. Come on, Dad, you come along with me, mate.
Blimey, I've got a loony in the house.
Dudley, I'm old-fashioned. I love the moonlight. I love old-fashioned things. I like the sound of rain upon my window pane. Like that, the happy hours that April brings. This year's fancies, they are passing fancies about the sighs and the holding the hands. These my heart understands. I'm old-fashioned. I don't mind it. That's how I want to be. I hope you will agree and be old-fashioned with me. Let's be old-fashioned. Let's love moonlight. Let's love the old-fashioned thing. Like that sound. Hanging around. Happy hours. You and Pete and Vincent bring on. 'Cause this year's fancies, they are passing fancies about dying sighs and holding hands. These my heart understands. I'm old-fashioned and I really don't mind it. That's how I want to be. Dudley, do you agree? Yes, I do, Mary. Old-fashioned. Let's be a little old-fashioned. Come on and be old-fashioned. Me.
There have been lots of Americans over here recently making films about swinging London. We'd like to show you a prize-winning documentary that was made for Idaho television.
ITV presents the Pipe Sucker Report. And tonight, Harm's guests are the entire population of London, England. Our program's brought to you by the makers of Old Mice, the soap the stars use.
This is London, Hiram J. Pipesucker reporting. I think it was Jonathan Miller who said, "England swings like a pendulum do." Well, one of the young Londoners who's making this city swing like the veritable clappers, as they say here in Cockney land, is young destructive artist Lionel Blow. Now, Lionel, what made you become a destructive artist?
Well, Eamon, as you know, there is this terrible streak of violence in all us human beings. Violence that if allowed to fester, could escalate into wars and other catastrophes. So I think it is terribly important, and I'm speaking obviously personally, that one should get this violence out of the system, this poison out of the system, and I do this in my article.
You channel your latent, your inherent violence into your art. Now, how is this done?
Well, some destructive artists use pianos and shop windows to bash up, but I honestly think, Eamon, that people are much more important than objects.
So you channel your destructive creativity onto people?
Yes, I beat them, I hit them, I jump on them, that sort of thing.
Oh, very exciting. Now, this is, of course, a far cry from Leonardo da Vinci or Van Meer. I wonder if we could see your work in action. Could we see an example of your destructive art?
I'd be delighted, yes. Would you come this way?
Where shall we go?
Yes, just here.
Right, thank
this
you.
Is about right here.
Now, which way should I look? But apart from being the artistic capital of Europe, London is also the home of the miniskirt, the microskirt, and all the tiny skirts which make this city one of the most exciting ones in the world for the visitor to lie down in. Come with me to ancient Carnaby Street.
The Reverend Gavin Thistle is the vicar of St. Carnaby in all trends. He is vitally interested in all aspects of fashion. I asked him where the modern church stood on miniskirts.
Well, I think this whole sort of fashion thing is tremendously exciting, because I love to see young people, young people in lovely clothes doing lovely things, and I think the church has a role to play. But I must add, rather serious warning. I think when people wear these miniskirts and microskirts, it's not just that they want to wear a short skirt. I think it's because people are looking for something. They're looking for something beyond the skirt, and for something higher and something more lasting. And I think this is where we in the church have to come in.
Penny Ryder is 19 years of age. She came to London from Swadlingcote 6 months ago. Already she is establishing herself in the modeling and film world. She loves water skiing and avocado pears. She has been seen in the films 20 Million Years in the Slime and Rocket to the Milky Way. What is the quality that makes Penny so much in demand by film producers and photographers alike? Is it her innocence, her fresh, freckled charm, or perhaps the gay twinkle in her needs?
I don't know, but I certainly get the impression that this young English dolly is going places.
Simon Accrington is one of the new breed of pop managers. Young, adventurous, horrible. He's a 20th century buccaneer who lives dangerously and is not afraid to take risks.
Hey, man, do that safety belt up, would you, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize the belt wasn't strapped. I'm surprised, actually, Simon, that a young, kooky, zany guy like you is interested in safety in the car.
Well, man, you go along here and you might collide with something and you go hurtling through that windscreen. That windscreen's worth 200 pounds, you know, man. Hand-blown glass.
I had no idea. Is this traditional Worcestershire hand-blown glass?
Right.
You take a lot of pills, Simon. What's the reason?
Well, I'm pigeon-toed. Dig?
Pigeon-toed?
Yeah.
Oh, I certainly dig. Yeah. Simon, what I'd like to know is what excites you? What do you...
Sound, man. Sound is my life. You know, it's been the most important thing in my life from the first I can remember. The first thing I can remember is this... that scream, and I thought at the time, man, you know, it's fantastic sound.
Yeah, in fact, I believe you've used this sound of the hand on the bottom and the scream in your new disc with the group. Who are they? The Mothers?
The Mothers, yeah.
The Mothers.
Baby Don't Cry, the disc goes...
Baby Don't Cry.
And they go into
You incorporate all these sounds.
Yeah.
I believe also that you and the mothers have recently spent time in the Far East, picking up new excitements and sounds.
Yeah, we went to Lhasa. We spent a...
Lhasa, which is the capital of Tibet.
We spent a fantastic couple of months there, you know, with the gurus.
Guru who?
Guru who, man? You're way out, baby. No, we spent this time with a musician, Ravioli, and...
I know Ravi.
You know him?
Work, yes.
And they've got some fantastic banjo players there, man, I'm telling you.
And you're using these new Eastern sounds on your new waxing with the mothers.
Yeah. The disc is entitled The LS Bumblebee.
One, two, 3, 4.
There is a little insect not many people see. He's known to all the insects as the endless bumblebee. So when you hear him coming, just throw away your tea. That psychotic humming will mean you'll soon be free.
Oh, druggy. Freak out, baby. The bee is coming.
I can hear the hum of the lovely LS bumblebee. Now it's time to fly out of your mind and into the sky with me. I fly to the land where my hand can see, where my eyes can walk and the mountains grow to me. The land where my hand can see, where my eyes can walk and the mountains grow. I hear with my knees, run with my nose, smell with my feet, my heart is a rose.
This week's Bumper Bumble is for Al Herbert and his marijuana brass and their hip waxing Spanish bee.
I can hear the hum of the lovely bumblebee. Take a little sip from the tasty lips of the endless bumblebee.
Oh, that's better.
This is London's most fashionable lavatory spot. Here, film stars rub shoulders with royalty in an atmosphere of cosmopolitan sophistication.
Good evening.
Excuse me, sir. Are you a member?
I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm from American television. I'm doing an interview downstairs.
I'm sorry, sir. You must be a member to go in here.
Would it help if I told you that I was the Duke and Duchess of Windsor?
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't recognize you, madam. Well, actually, sir, there is a £5 waiting list.
I understand. This one of the blue ones,
Right.
isn't it? Thank you very much indeed. I love
bless
your
you, sir.
Oxford accent.
Lovely. Follow your nose, sir.
Thank you.
And madam.
Good afternoon. Hiram Pipesucker. I'm from Idaho Television.
Oh, welcome to the Ad Labs Club, sir.
Thank you very much. You must be Mr. Druff.
That's right, call me Dan.
Thank you very much. Dan, that was beautiful music I heard on my way down there.
A bit of Handel.
Really? Very appropriate indeed.
Oh, thank
Now, Dan,
Of the Ad Lab Club, tell me, what gave you the kooky idea of starting a sophisticated lavatory spot for real lovers of the lab?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, Hiram, because about 4 years ago, I spent a very boring 5 minutes in a government-sponsored public convenience. And I thought to myself, looking around, I thought, this is tatty. This is absolutely ghastly. You know, and I thought, as I looked round, I thought the writing's on the wall for the old lab, the old style of lab, and I thought we need a more razzmatazz approach, you know, a razzmatazz, if you like. And so I bought up these premises and I did them up elegantly, and first night I had 10,000 members hopping in the street screaming to get in.
Achievement, Dan. Who are your regular members, in fact?
Well, of course, not to mention any names, the Rolling Stones, Lord Snowden and Alf Ramsey pop in for a quick one now and again.
That's what do you think is the attraction of your particular spot? What makes it so attractive to these fashionable people?
Well, Hiram, I think when people go out to the lab, they want something special. Something they wouldn't get at home, you know. I mean, for instance, I think the decor is very important.
It's beautifully done here. It's certainly very lavish, the decor, these curtains, which very beautiful.
I think it's worth the trouble, you see, and a person can have a certain amount of privacy. And, of course, the atmosphere is something special down here. And last but not least, of course, on top of it all, there's myself, the genial host.
I think a host is very important in a place of this nature, and I believe that you, in fact, vary your lavatory music to suit the member as he comes down. You gear your music to suit the individual tastes and moods of the member.
It's quite true, actually. Whenever Noel Coward pops down now, I always break into a room with a loo. He loves that. He tickles pink. And, of course, Sir Laurence Olivier come down here after his triumphant first night in Othello, so I swung straight into a black bottom.
Very appropriate. Dan, do you find in any way that you've been affected adversely by the credit squeeze? I know the businessmen up and down the country have been forced to take drastic slashes.
Not really, no, Hiram. I'm hoping to expand. I'm hoping to open branches up and down the country. In fact, by 1970, I hope to be in control of a huge lavatory chain.
A gigantic lavatory chain. An enormous lavatory chain stretching over the whole of Great Britain. That's the exciting prospect held out by young Dan Druff here in the heart of Cockney Land in the Ad Lab Club.
Excuse me a moment, Hiram. Come on, number 9, your time's up.
I'm wondering if you have a moment, could you show me a little more of your beautiful city?
Yes, I think we've got a few minutes before the evening rush. Yes, I don't see one. Well, hold tight then.
Thank you very much.
Right, off we go.